purposeful living. I want to talk about the nature of what we decline to talk about sometimes in our hearts because we think we're living the purpose-driven life, right? What does that mean for most? So many people are aligned with this idea of, I love who I am, and I know whatever I do is meant for me. That's the nature of love of purpose. That's the nature of what we are here to do. We're here to discover those visions of who I am and who you are in what you are perceiving yourself to be. Most people are on the lookout for those ideas of love, of self, correct? Your purpose in your life is what sets you free from it's like the conclaves of your mind. Don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Most people are so concerned with who am I, it's like colliding with or colluding with. Many feel that their purpose is to make a change. I love who I am, therefore I am. That's the nature of most. Your purpose is to be determined only by you. Who am I to tell you who you are or who you are not? Do you feel the sense of discovery within your being? That's one question that many will ask. I align with those who know what I'm talking about. If I'm feeling a lack of purpose, what does that show me about who I am? Am I driven to succeed? That's where many go. Am I driven to be beautiful? That's another. Am I driven to be anything other than who I am in the moment? You see, your purpose is to be you, and only you can express the way that you can. If you're feeling demeaned in your visions, then that might be part of the problem. I'm being told that my purpose is less than, because I'm not here to fulfill every wish and desire of those on the screen, correct? This is one of those soul sessions where people will start to understand the nature of the guidance that can come through. I love you for who you are. However, we are not aligned on a soul level, right? It's about alignment, people. Those who are claiming they are purposely fulfilling their desires. I know what I'm here to do. Or am I purposeless? Those who say, I don't even align with the idea of I need to have a purpose to be me. You see the unwinding of those ideas that many are placing in our field of vision, feeling like we're supposed to be more than who we are. Now, if I'm feeling stagnant in my being, this is what Brenda was saying about her vision. I'm feeling stagnant in the vision of life. And then I realized very quickly that being purposely driven to understand and experience the joy of peace of mind. You see, so many people are feeling driven to this idea of I must succeed in order to feel like my purpose is part of it, right? Or is my purpose of a higher nature? That's where many are actually aligning in their minds. I have a higher purpose than just to be here as a successful soul of love. What does that tell you about the message? Success is defined by who I am, right? I don't define success in the terms that others are placing upon me. Does my message get viewed by many? Or is it it's like stagnating in the vision of the internet? When I go out with my friends, do I feel the purpose of being of love for my friends or my family, depending on who I'm interacting with in that moment? Okay, so just because I'm not fulfilling someone else's idea of what my purpose is because they lay it out on a chart, perhaps, does not mean that I'm not actually serving the whole. Those of us who calmly interact with others in this world are just as purpose-driven as those who claim to be of the highest and feel the need to fight and argue in order to get their points across. That's the nature of love of hearts. So for many of us who are on the gentler side of soul, we will say, I love you for who you are. Those warriors out there who claim they have it all figured out have never yet once thought about the damage they may be partaking in their value system upon all of us who are not here to try to take down others in the minds of many. We are not here to do destruction, are we? Or is it about those who do it in a way that is respectful to the value systems of many? We cannot align with the idea that everyone or everyone's soul is going to get risen in the moment. I love you for who you are. That's the nature where many go. But many are saying, I can't reach that higher vision in my mind because it doesn't mean that I agree with you in your value system. It's right for you, therefore it's right for me. Do you allow me to hurt you is one value system that Brenda sometimes gets told about in her dream state, right? No, it's here and now. Do I value those who want to hurt me? Do you expect me to come to you in my value system and say, I can caretake your hearts if you're in the value system of I need to hurt people in order to lift myself up? That's a degrading of every soul on this planet. This is what we're here to transcend. I don't need to hurt you to align with you. That's what that is. Soul alignment means you vibrate with me, whether you are there in anger, hatred, love, or adornment. Right? We're going to adorn our souls with soul. We utilize those visions of how many friends or family members I have adoring me, right? They're adornments in many. I have 5,000 friends on my site, right? Does that mean anything to most people? This is the value system that many are seeing as a reflection of their value in this world. It is not to be taken or seen that way. Who I align with is where we go. So for those of you that say, I feel demeaned in the vision of love, it's not that. It's about the nature of your own vision, okay? Quality over quantity is where we tend to go with Brenda. She's an introverted nature of the extroverted soul. That's how she's portraying herself. I can align with just about everybody in this world and say, I know where you are. I understand where you are. If you've talked to me in your mind for about 5 to 10 minutes, I'll probably know very fast whether or not you're in agreement with who I am on a soul level. Souls don't disengage from other souls. It's a beautiful expression of love. We discern who we align with in many ways. Do I feel your pain and anger? This is the empath vision. It's empathy. Empath is a very different higher vibrational being state that most people don't hit, nor would they want to. You think you got it all figured out? You might want to sit back and watch and see the beauty and the destruction of certain ideas that we are placing in our minds that can either serve us or they can hinder us, right? They can either enhance our experience or they can hinder our experience of who we are. The ways in which we describe ourselves is one of them. And that's why this idea of I need to find a purpose in my life in order to feel a part of something higher. That's your soul calling out to you. I'm here waiting for you to align with who I am, right? These are those souls that know that. I have a higher purpose, right? It's just not there in the moment in your mind. It's always within your reach. Where am I going? What am I doing here? Am I here to entertain people? Am I here to judge people? We all do. But do we judge them as less than who I am in the moment? I align with the beauty of who you are. If you take your pot shots at me, I come at you most often with the idea of, I can see why you would say that to me, considering who you are and who I am in my moment. I understand your value system. I may not know it, but I understand it. That's the nature of where a lot of people go. I know of it from what I've seen played out by other people around me. So, this idea that there are many visions of love coming on the screen. This is not about saying there is one wrong way to be in this world or that there is one right way to be in this world. So how do you go about finding out what your purpose is? Many will say they have the ticket to paradise. That's Brenda. Once you align with soul, you go for it and you don't look back. You never say, I love another as much as I love my own soul. Your own soul caretakes your hearts, your visions, and fights for you on the other side of the veil to align you with those souls that actually make you feel beautiful and aligned with the heavenly realms, is what most people go. You want to align with someone else, that's your business. But man, I'm telling you, if you need those visions, Brenda has been able to bring through the vision of a guide named Jesus in his vision, but his vision has transcended itself, and those visions are going to get their hearts handed to them very soon with the nature of what Christ is or isn't. Okay, there is a deceptive vision going on in this world about what that actually means, and we are not here to talk about that. But some people feel the vision is within that vision of his purpose is mine. That's what many will start to say. That's what many align with, thinking that that's where they need to go. And maybe that is their vision. Maybe that is what fills their bucket, right? This could be another work of art. Jesus is Jesus. That's just the nature of it. But to be aligned with those who are, I am, that's what that message was. I am. I am I. So don't try so hard to be like somebody else that you lose who you are. This is where that feeling of lack of purpose is because you're aligning yourself with someone else's purpose. Potentially. Has anyone ever stopped to ask themselves, am I supposed to be anybody other than who I am in this moment? Loving who I am, caretaking my own heart, expressing the beauty of who I am, and feeling free and clear of the judgment of others, because if they understood that message, they wouldn't be casting stones in my vision. I'm not meant to be the most beautiful person on the planet. Let's put it that way, right? Yet I focus on that, and most people are telling me that, right? No, some people will tell you, in order to be successful, you need to be X, Y, or Z. Baloney, that's not true. This is not about the mask that I wear for everybody, but this is the nature of unveiling who we are. That's when your purpose becomes clear. You start to unveil who you are, and that's also crossing those levels of, behind the veil, the hidden aspects of who we are that we bring back to us in our own way. And when you find that vision, you say, oh man, that feels good. I don't need to go back to a love-filled life is where others are being forced into. Believe it or not, thinking that love means one thing. Love means different things for different people. You're going to get a perspective from Brenda about the nature of love. And it's going to be a big deal for many. There's no disparaging of anyone's soul. But what we will see is that when you invite other perspectives into the vision, as Brenda does, she gets her heart handed to her by her family in some ways. I have to be aligned with someone else because that is what I was told was my ticket to paradise on the other side of the veil. Who says you can't get there right now just being you? What are you afraid of? The unknown, right? Or who I am, right? That's what you're freeing yourself from, is the limitations of your own soul here. When you cross over, you align with those other versions of who you are from various levels of understanding, and you can see what the creative process is like, and you can understand the nature of it, and you can be excited and adored by those who create with you. And that's the nature of what souls love. Okay? We want to invite those in who challenge us in some ways. This is this nature. I love it when you challenge me. It gets me to empower myself into the nature of who am I from another perspective. I love that one. I also get my hat handed to me because most often I'll say, let me caretake my own heart from a perspective of guidance. Right? I can bring through the guidance in any situation that's going to elevate others to a higher level of their own heart. And if people are saying, but that requires, it's like a soul session, it's not always that. Those messages of love that come across the screen are all there for love. Even if you, it's like agree or disagree with them, it's still showing you other perspectives of higher level love and understanding. That's what most people want. I want to be understood. I don't need you to love me as your friend. I just want you to understand me, right? Understand that I'm part of this world. I'm part of this creative process. And I'm part of this planetary alignment because we're all aligned here on this planet at this moment in time. That means we're all here doing the work that needs to be done now. Okay? So that's the nature of presenting our visions of the now. Okay? We are here in this moment, loving ourselves gently through this process of embodiment. That's where most will be going in the future. It's the nature of aligning with who they are, without the conditioning of society holding us back. And that's where some of those messages of sin can often come through and either stoke the fires of fear and anger in some people's minds. You can have your heart handed to you by many when they start to see, am I utilizing the vision to lift me up so that I understand the nature of a certain verse in a book? Or am I using that to place others in a place of less than? So Brenda herself has her own challenges with that idea. She honors the vision, but she says, you are not a book. You are not an institution. You're a soul creating with that vision, as if it is you. It is one of many who've contributed those words of wisdom. Do you dare take on the vision of a soul from that book and say, I align with this one, and therefore I vibrate in the vision of it? Do you want to vibrate in the vision of I'm throwing others into their hellish realms? Is that your intention? Or are you so hurt in your vibration from something that has been either done to you or portrayed to you in a vision on a screen that you then say that is of the devil or that is of sin? Okay? These are not to be played with gently. Okay? These vibrations that people place themselves in need to be looked at gently with their hearts. That's the guidance from their souls, because there are many who have had their hearts handed to them by many others, claiming that what I do is of the devil or of sin. And when I say, would you like to hear the loving guidance that your own soul would bring to you from another plane of enlightenment? We take off the conditioning that doesn't serve us. It doesn't mean we throw the whole thing away. Okay? So your alignment with who you are is the beauty of who you are. And if you're here to show us who you are in that vision of I like to cast stones at other people, then by all means, let's see where that leads you. Your soul may guide you to a different understanding of why you feel that you need to do that. Versus I love who I am, And I see the beauty in the other messages that people are showing me. It's like the contrasting nature of who we are. Ouch, is what people say. When someone hurts her, she was guided at one point to tell them, ouch. So someone may be casting a stone at her, and in her vision, I'm letting you know your stones don't hurt me anymore. So for those of you who want to disparage others in my presence, I will say, I will guide you to a higher place of love and understanding for the situation in the moment in which we are vibrating, how to work through the energy of it, and how to lift ourselves out of it, if you want it. What the difference is between those who want to sit and stew in their anger and hatred of others versus those who want to understand and come to a place of love and understanding, not only for themselves, but for others. There's a big difference. But if you are here to destroy the nation at large, right? That's what many are claiming they are here to do. We're here to destroy the nation at large. That can be part of that. It's like the global picture, right? It's a collective vision of the U.S. I specialize in the U.S. vision because I listen to a lot of the heavy hitters on a soul level from that collective energy that we portray ourselves as. There's no borders on soul. Okay, so people need to start opening up to that nature. We are putting borders around our countries, our hearts, our states, our own visions. There are no borders. We are energy free-flowing and collecting creative inputs all the time. So with that vision of love, I want you to think carefully, where am I creating the borders in my life? That might show you where you're missing the boat. Do I allow my expressions of love to flow out to those who don't agree with me? That's where Brenda goes. If you want to love yourself through that process, it can be a difficult process. It's also the best damn day ever for a lot of people because they say, I do it all the time in my business. Those who are of the caretaking professions are never, ever, it's like forgiven for what they've done to other people, right? Many people are saying my heart was taken advantage of by someone in the profession of psychology, told me I was of mental illness, and then I was lifted up on the other side of the veil to be shown that I was actually an enlightened state of being, forgiving myself for the processes of hurt that I portrayed to others on the field of vision. I was not grounded in this reality as much as what I could have been, is where most were in their vision once there are. They're still creating here with us. Okay, so that's all you have to understand is those souls that are out there on the streets in a lot of ways causing havoc. Sometimes they are battling various vibrational being visions in their hearts and their minds. And they haven't elevated themselves out of the victim mindset that is keeping them in what we would say is kind of like the prison of their minds. They're free and clear, a lot of them, and they just express the beauty of whatever it is that they are receiving. Do you see the nature of the vibration of why you want to elevate yourself first before you go through the process of channeling or even embodiment? But your soul will rock you. Your soul will cradle you in the vision of love, and you won't look back. We don't need to channel everybody else's vision to bring forth the vision of love. Once you connect to your higher level of love from another plane of understanding, you can tap into the nature of it. You tap into the nature of love of all. And it's not meant for everybody. There is a post that will go out. It's probably going to be a video about the pressure that we're putting on ourselves and others to rise before they are ready. And we're going to talk about that. So this idea of my purpose is to do X, Y, or Z, and if it's part of that enlightenment vision, Please guide yourselves gently through the process. Do not be in a rush. Do not be in a rush through the process because it can backfire on you. Brenda had her hat handed to her in one or two instances that literally cradled her into what some would say the sinful vision of life. It's not. It's literally, I wasn't allowed to express my beauty in the way that I wanted, and I created a scenario that was so damaging in my mind that I'm still caretaking my heart through the vibration of it. Okay? There are those situations of love with others that others are caretaking, and we want to be gentle with all of those souls who are in their minds thinking, I know people who are like you who didn't lift themselves out of it. I caretake my heart very much. I am not like this like every day, or I am not like this all the time. I come in and out of those states of higher states of being. And with that, I want to say, may your purpose be filled wherever you walk, right? This is who you are. This is who you are meant to be. Right now, you are fulfilling your purpose every single moment with every single breath. And with that in mind, I want to say thank you. And I want to tell you that I love you as you are. Be prepared for more of those visions of the same. Sometimes it can feel like we're the same soul. It's a beautiful vision. You're honored for that. We create from that. It's a beautiful expression. Take your heart gently into your soul and remember that you are adored always by all.